Britain, in its act of mediation in the Anglo-Boer War, the conflict between the British and the Boers, people of Dutch descent. So when they established this state called the Republic of South Africa, they did not establish it with us. First and foremost, these are invader European groups which came and got to be in conflict with each other over the spoils of wars that they fought against the natives, to invade them, to dispossess them. Now, for them to form, a truce, a union government was formed, a union between the Brits and the people of Dutch descent, which excluded the natives. Not that I expect them to have, I expect them to, not that, not that I expect them to have included the natives in that. First and foremost, their very existence on our existential space is illegitimate, including the state entity called the Republic of South Africa that they established in 1910. Because then that was making or giving their invasion, political fullness and legitimization when they established the Republic of South Africa. So we were not excluded from being voted into this criminal, settler polity called the Republic of South Africa, a polity, a state entity that land thieves imposed on the natives after they invaded, dispossessed, and displaced the natives on the land of their birth. So we had no business, first and foremost, participating within processes and systems of the Republic of South Africa. So what does it mean? The greatest conspiracy was us being excluded from running, from participating, in the government, in the running of the country, from, voting or being voted for. This is, what I referred to earlier, that the impression in his presentation that he first made was that they are a revolutionary movement of the natives, of the indigenous people, pushing an exclusively black agenda for the building of black power and the re-establishment of, our sovereignty as the natives and indigenous people of the land, taking the land from the thieves and their successors in title, their descendants, with whom we coexist, in a way, with them today, that the imperialist international law says they got naturalized, meaning they became indigenous to the land through fictitious means employed by so-called international law. Another branch of law that we have no business recognizing if we are really true about fighting for our own sovereignty. And then Zuma bemoans that whites took us out of everything in South Africa, a right to vote or to be voted for, a right, to participate in the running of the country. No, they invaded our land. They did not take away our right to participate in the running of the country. They were not supposed to be here in the first place. They came here waging, an unprovoked war on the indigenous people, on the natives, to dispossess them of what rightfully belonged to them, and thereafter establishing a state entity called the Union government. that we were ab initio not part of. For Zuma to say, which is, quite ridiculous, we were taken out of. No, we were not taken out of anything. We were invaded, dispossessed, of our land, and, had gotten displaced. Had our cultures, misoriented, our consciousness disoriented. That's what happened. Had blood-soaked, had religions that are foreign to us blood-soaked into our minds. Had our sacred, things vilified, desecrated. So we're the ones who have had all these forms of violence meted out on us. We were not taken out of anything that we were part of. The only thing that happened is the land we were found owning, we were found occupying, we were found living in, was invaded by these scoundrels from Europe, and they displaced us in their dispossessions that were brutal, murderers, they did that with impunity. So we never lost our right to participate in anything. That's not what we lost. We lost our land. We lost our sovereignty with the land, and that's why we are where we are. So now it means MKP is also about engaging in politics of reformism. That's what I said. My guesstimation was this is another ANC outside the ANC, like the EFF. And President Zuma hit the last, nail, on the coffin to actually confirm the suspicions that I developed as I was following his, speech at that media briefing. And he said that, they, the MK, are of the view that we are closer to our liberation, and called, on us to join together to reach, that liberation, and to have this country in peace, with everyone. And then he said, including whites. So this is just another organization that is bent on liberal reformist agenda that is pushed by people who feel an earnest need to give assurances to the very same people who are successors in title in land thievery. The very same people who benefited from and who continue to benefit from conditions that were contrived to prevent our development, to prevent our rise, to weaken our resistance, and God has settled for politics of expediency, being swayed, away from revolutionary politics, being swayed away from race war realities. So this was just my critique on, the new kid in the block, MKHONTO WESIZWE Party, because I needed to understand what is this about. It's just another formation that is a conduit of politics requiring cooperation of white people, politics requiring cooperation of our criminal settler, abusers, invaders, murderers, so scoundrels, basically. So I don't buy it.